Good. Oh, it is on. All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here at the First Alert Desk. My name's Karli Barnett. We want to give you a look at some of the stories that we are following for your Sunday. We're actually just getting some new details into the Atlanta News First newsroom, so we want to give you a look at some of the stories that we're working on for later tonight, as well as an update to some of the stories that we've been following today. We hope you joined us earlier at 6:30, but if not, you have plenty of other opportunities. You can join us at 10 on Peachtree TV, as well as 11 on WANF, and in just a few minutes, we're going to get to First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin. We are kicking off the week with a First Alert Weather Day, so you are definitely going to want to stay tuned for that as you are, I'm sure, planning out your week ahead as we wrap up our weekend. So I want to get through a couple of news headlines first, and then we will move on to your weather. All right. We have new details that we have received on a shooting that happened in Gwinnett County in Lawrenceville specifically. A young man was found shot dead in the breezeway of an apartment complex last night. Police have now identified the victim as 20-year-old Timothy Henderson. Police have also identified the gunman as 19-year-old Raheem Whiteside. So according to authorities, this happened at the Harrington Mill Apartments in Lawrenceville just after 10 p.m. Detectives believe Whiteside shot and killed Henderson after trying to rob him. If you joined us yesterday here at the First Alert Desk, as well as on Atlanta News First, you may have noticed that we have had, unfortunately, a violent weekend here in Metro Atlanta. Starting that weekend with a number of fatal shootings that investigators were looking into. This is now, unfortunately, yet another that we have received an update on today. So at this time, authorities say that they believe that they have the person who did this in custody. We will continue to update you, though, on AtlantaNewsFirst.com with any further updates. This next story we have been following really all day here at Atlanta News First. This is a major apartment fire that happened in DeKalb County, and we are getting some new details about that as well as some new video. I want to play that for you now. Our reporter Blake Devine has been on the scene there all afternoon. What we do know at this point is that one person has died, several more were injured. People even had to leap out of the windows to escape their burning homes at this apartment complex in DeKalb County. It all happened at the Park Creek Apartments near Gresham Park around 11:30 a.m. Firefighters arrived on the scene at the Park Creek Apartments on Boulder Crest Road. Crews say they saw several residents leaping off of their balconies of this three-story building. Firefighters sprang into action, hoisting up their ladders to rescue people and helping those who were injured. 4 people had to be transported to Grady Memorial Hospital with what we are told are severe injuries. A few hours later, there were still some flames and smoke sneaking out of that 24-unit building with more than 10 fire engines on the scene. You can just see that destruction, the smoke going into the air. We did speak with one woman who lives at this apartment, and she says that she watched all of this unfold.
When we looked out the window, it was in a blaze. Like, all we could do was grab everything that we really could, and everything was up in fire. Like, you couldn't even stand in the front because it was like so much heat from the fire. When we looked out the window, it was in a blaze. Like, all we could do was grab everything that we really could, and everything.
So, very scary scene there, as you can see. And what we have learned here at Atlanta News First, we were going back through our own records and looking back through this other stories that we have reported on. Now, these Park Creek Apartments previously went by another name, it appears, and those are the Eagles Run Apartments. When we looked that up, we found that there were other fires that took place at this location. At least 2 we know of for sure, one in 2018 and one in 2022. But now we are hearing our Atlanta News First producer has been looking into this, as many possibly as 4 fires that have taken place at this apartment complex, as well as a criminal history of alleged incidents that took place there as well. So what we have learned is that this apartment complex, now called Park Creek, when we look up the address, it looks like it was previously called the Eagles Run Complex. And there we have found a history of other fires, possibly as many as 4 fires, as well as several other incidents that took place at this building. Reporter Blake Devine, he is remaining on the scene. This is a fluid story. We are gathering more details as fire crews remain out there, putting out any hot spots and investigating what may have been the cause of this fire. At this point, there's been no indication on what the cause could be. But we are gathering more information on this. We will continue to keep you updated both on air and online. All right, the next story that we are working on, we have been covering this now for just about 2 weeks here at Atlanta News First. And it's not just exclusive to Metro Atlanta. We are seeing these campus protests happening all over the country, specifically these pro-Palestine protests that have been happening, especially as campuses are wrapping up the end of the year, graduations are taking place. We saw out at Emory today a number of students taking those graduation photos. What we know is that tomorrow, undergraduate students at Emory University plan to take up a vote on their confidence in the university's president, Gregory Finvez. And the move comes after some of the faculty members passed a no-confidence measure, overwhelmingly, in fact, following campus protests and arrests over the war in Israel. The last day of school was actually last Monday, so campus has been pretty quiet for the most part right now, but that issue still lingering. Really not a lot of foot traffic happening on the campus today. Our reporter Bridget Spencer was out there, but she did say that students are getting ready to walk across the stage, as we saw taking those graduation photos. So students will begin casting their votes on their confidence in President Gregory Finvez tomorrow. What we do know previously is that the faculty at the College of Arts and Sciences overwhelmingly said that they did not have confidence in Finvez. Voting opens up tomorrow at noon and closes Tuesday at 3. It's going to ultimately be up to the Board of Trustees to decide the president's fate here, but in response, Emory says these votes are non-binding. So it's more of a symbolic gesture than anything else, but that is taking place tomorrow. You see this video here of the protests that happened, the arrest that happened as a result. 28 people were arrested at that time, including both students and even some faculty members when these protests initially broke out. But what we've seen over the last several days is a much quieter tone. Again, classes are out now, students turning their focus to graduation. At this point, we have not received any indication that graduation would be impacted in any way at Emory University, but we are being mindful of that, as we have seen other graduation ceremonies either being canceled or modified, delayed in some way as a result of these protests taking place. All right, the next thing we are going to do, I'll go ahead and take a look at some of the comments here. Hey, Wesley, watching from Ackworth, thanks for joining. Will, hey there. Baxter, hi. Alex, hello, watching from East Point. Lonnie, yes, I know that apartment fire video is pretty sobering to watch. The flames, the smoke, and the destruction as a result. So we have been told that building is a total loss. At this point, we're still working to figure out some of the resources that have been made available for the residents who lived there. We want to turn now to a beautiful look outside. I know I've given you a lot of heavy news stories, but at least right now we have a nice serene image there at Lake Lanier. Yeah. And Cutter, we are dealing with a couple of first alert weather days ahead.
Yeah, it's not exactly the most clear-cut picture. Tomorrow, one of those days where we earn our paycheck, us meteorologists here in North Georgia and in Metro Atlanta. Big changes on the way, including a chance of rain showers and thunderstorms. We've already had those, right? But timing of the rain tomorrow is trending especially tricky. Today was a little bit hard, message-wise to convey to folks because so much of the day was nice. Until it wasn't. We did have a few thunderstorms here inside the immediate metro. Shaky knees had a little bit of an impact. Heavy rain, lightning, and thunder impacted festivities there for a few minutes. Trending drier this evening for the time being, but we do have more rain on the way. Again, thank you for joining us, for tuning in. If you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, I do want to remind you that we are streaming on YouTube. So many platforms we're streaming right now. Atlanta News First Plus, Roku, Amazon Fire, YouTube. That's the place to be. If you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, as Karli mentioned, saying hello to Wesley, Will, Baxter, Alex, watching from East Point. Lonnie, hello to you. Wesley also commenting again, hello to you too. Thank you for tuning in and for watching. Any weather questions, comments, concerns, if at any point you need any clarification on the first alert forecast, YouTube is the account in particular to kind of comment on, and I'll address those questions as they come in. Want to go ahead and shift gears, though, kind of slide into the forecast. Just going to take a moment to set up my graphics here, and then we will kind of slide through what's happening now. Still a few downpours out there. Your forecast for the rest of this evening, and then looking ahead to tomorrow, a first alert weather day, and then a break, and then more showers and thunderstorms, first alert weather days in the first alert forecast. And a reminder, first alert weather day, basically just a day that has weather that could be of impact to your routine and to your plans. Case in point today, a good chunk of the day was dry. And then we had a downpour form right over the city of Atlanta. Hopefully you got that alert before the rain impacted your plans. And we sent that to the first alert weather app about 45, 50 minutes, that forecast update, before it really started pouring in the city of Atlanta. And outside right now, though, we're back to nicer weather. Lots of clouds. Yes, may even see a rainbow. One of our producers texted me just a moment ago saying he could see a rainbow looking south and east from kind of the Central Park Shaky Knees area where the event, the festival is ongoing, and that's the same shower that could be prompting that rainbow there in the distance, looking back towards South DeKalb. Right now, let's bring it over to first alert radar. Again, we are tracking rain across the area, though not everyone's seeing it. Coverage is kind of isolated to widely scattered, but as you can tell here, the rain that we are seeing is producing quite a bit of lightning and thunder. Again, let's zoom all the way down into the immediate metro. Inside the perimeter, we are dry after earlier downpours. That loop right now for about 2 hours, bringing you back to the end of the earlier rain. This is now a 30-minute loop showing you that it has been dry for the past maybe hour and a half or so. A little breezy. You know, these thunderstorms tend to kick out little gusts of wind as they collapse and as they weaken. So occasionally still getting some breezy winds, even well away from these storms. Of course, Central Park and Shaky Knees, the last little bit running through 10, about another maybe hour and a half or so of the festivity. And inside that green circle, we're dry now. And I think in general, we will remain dry at least for the next hour to hour and a half or so. Expanding that view, though, again, there's a little downpour that was earlier making a run at South DeKalb, now more so Henry County, 675, 75 corridors into McDonough proper, just north of Locust Grove into southern Henry County, and then expanding that picture off to the north and to the west. If you are at Shaky Knees, you're fine for now, and you're fine for, I would say, at least the next hour, unless something new crops up, though looking a little less likely. But what we will be watching for is this kind of cluster of showers and thunderstorms. Frequent lightning producer now pushing into Cleburne and Randolph counties in Alabama. Let's time this for the next, 2 hours. So that'll get us through Shaky Knees. And you can see we'll be still west of the city of Atlanta by the top of the 10 o'clock hour as festivities are wrapping up. But if you're leaving there, walking home, and maybe it takes 30, 45 minutes, you live in Ponce Highland, you live somewhere else in Old Fourth Ward, you live in Midtown, and you're making the long walk, there will be thunderstorms in the general area, probably still on the west side at 10 p.m. as you're beginning that walk, but worth keeping rain and lightning alerts turned on in the first alert weather app. And to do that, we're going to kind of go off the cuff here. Again, First Alert Weather app. If you don't have it, it's a free and easy download. Just search Atlanta News First or First Alert Weather in your Apple Google Play Store. You'll see that ad giveaway to the home screen. That's the video update talking about downpours earlier this afternoon. Upper right-hand corner right there. Looks like 3 sheets of paper. You would need to click on that, and that is your settings menu. You just have to simply click on settings, and I know you can't see the word on your streaming screen, but settings menu right there. You can turn your alerts on and off, whatever you would like. Customize it down to your needs. And for tonight's purposes, rain, lightning alerts, go ahead and have those on. Make sure you set your location to follow me so that the app knows where you are as far as what to alert you to, because if you live in Cartersville but you're at Shaky Knees in Old Fourth Ward, it's going to alert you for the Cartersville location versus what we have actually going on right now. So just keep that in mind. We are tracking showers and a couple of thunderstorms this evening. Rain still in the forecast as we go through the evening, so just keep that in mind. We're not completely done with the rain in the first alert forecast. Few evening downpours still on the way. With that in mind, now kind of shifting gears, going deeper into our forecast here, let's take a look at a forecast model, basically what a computer thinks radar will look like as we go through the evening and overnight time period. So right now, and again, I'm checking chat to make sure I didn't miss any questions. Doesn't look like I have. Thank you for tuning in and for watching. YouTube, the place to be if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns. So we're going to bring our forecast model back. Here we are, showing showers and thunderstorms on the west side, really flaring up across eastern Alabama as we get into 10, 11, midnight, We do have a first alert weather day tomorrow. Again, notice rain is moving in 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, there has been some fluctuation in some of the most recent data. Do we have rain tomorrow morning? We're going to have to look westward and see what we have on radar as we go through the evening, 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Both good opportunities to check in with the first alert forecast in case there are any updates. But for now, the first chance of more widespread rain does arrive in the morning, and it could wet your morning commute. So we're going to be watching that pretty closely. Though as we go into the mid-morning hours, bit of a break, not too much going on. 10 a.m., 11 a.m., even noon, fairly quiet as temperatures recover from rain-cold, 60s, kind of muggy out the door in the morning, back to the upper 70s to near 80 by noon. And here we are, middle of the afternoon, much like today. Not everyone is impacted by downpours, but first alert weather day, a day that does have weather that could impact your plans. It's a Monday afternoon, getting your students to sports practices, trying to get your after-school routines in, trying to get those errands done on your Monday. Could be a little dicey just in a few places. Again, typical downpours like we had today, thunder, lightning, heavy rain. With any of these showers and thunderstorms that develop, couple could produce small hail gusty winds. We did have some gusty winds in town with the storm that developed inside the perimeter this afternoon. So not everyone sees it, but nonetheless worthy of your attention as we go through the day tomorrow, and then drying it out tomorrow evening. We will drop that first alert weather day as we get into later tomorrow evening. A bit of a break from the downpours Tuesday with warmer weather on the way. On that note, though, even though tomorrow will not be the warmest day of the work week, it is still going to be a day that will be warm and I think kind of muggy feeling tomorrow. So keep that in mind. If you thought it was muggy today, I think it will feel a little bit hotter tomorrow. In fact, could actually have a heat index. We did have one today. So a heat index meaning that the moisture combined with the temperature, making it feel hotter than what the thermometer reads, what the actual temperature is. And along with that, tricky rain timing Monday. Again, opportunity number one, I should say, for rain will be in the morning. Bit of a mid to late, maybe morning break, kind of a lull. And then as we heat back up, the atmosphere recovers and becomes capable once again of producing those kind of splash and dash showers and thunderstorms that may put a pause on your routine in the afternoon and early evening once again. Here's the drier weather. I want to go ahead and check in with that 7-day forecast because we do have some temperature changes, both a big high and a bit of a lull at the end of that 7-day forecast. Here's the trend for you. Upper 80s, lower 90s, Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons. Wednesday and Tuesday, just a 20% chance of an isolated shower, so generally drier days, though I will say we're watching Wednesday. May have to bump up that rain chance just a bit. Some of the data indicating a little disturbance or two may try to sneak in as temperatures heat up, firing off showers and thunderstorms. It's not unusual to have that happen this time of year, something we will be watching for you here in the First Alert Weather Center. Thursday, Friday, I don't think it will rain all day both days, but we're trying to nail down how quickly a cold front moves through the area. Notice the temperature change. Wednesday, 89. Friday, 78. Saturday, 75 with sunshine in the afternoon. Mornings back in the 50s, so a noticeably kind of cool shift in the first alert forecast as we get into the weekend. However, that transition from warm to cold this time of year, not cold, but cooler, mild, in quotations, whatever you want to call it, does tend to come with showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. I mean, we'll be watching both Thursday and Friday, though I do think that the greatest chance of rain is in the forecast as we get into our Thursday, and it's possible we could see that front sneak just far enough south to start to cool down, dry out during the day Friday. Nonetheless, we're going to need to pay attention to both days for the time being. I think more clarity on that forecast as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday. Jules Graham-Magny, hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Hello to you. Thanks for watching, Jules. Appreciate the viewership. If you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, you need any clarification on the forecast, you can get that at Atlanta News First on YouTube. That's where we're streaming right now. Again, it doesn't look like Lonnie, Alex, Baxter, Will, nor Wesley have had any weather questions, comments, concerns. But if you do need some clarification on the forecast, again, at any time, I'm checking that feed. But a reminder, you can always reach out to not just myself, but anyone on the First Alert Weather team. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez, Meteorologist Ella Dorsey, Rodney Harris, Patrick Pete, Courtney Jacobazzi, Fred Campagna, and myself. Social media, it's a great place, right? Not only during Atlanta News First Plus streams, but anytime you can ask your weather questions. You can help clarify the forecast to the best of our abilities. There is some uncertainty in a pattern like this, but we will be watching for kind of an up and down seesaw sort of scenario this week with tricky rain timing tomorrow, a First Alert Weather day. I think a little more clarity, though, as we get into the 10 o'clock newscast, the 11 o'clock newscast, some of our later evening data coming in. help us adjust that timing, but the signal today has been for there to be a round of rain in the morning that could slow your morning commute, mid to late morning lull, and then some more pop-up showers and thunderstorms, especially east and northeast Georgia. Could be a little gusty tomorrow afternoon with those storms, and then a bigger break Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, front moving in. That transition from warm to cooler often does this time of year. It comes with showers and thunderstorms. It's just narrowing down which day is wettest, which day really has the potential to have weather that will impact your plants. You're going to be watching that for you pretty closely, nailing down that timeline. Of course, if you can't stay up with us this evening, that's all right. Always forecast updates in the First Alert weather app and at AtlantaNewsFirst.com. Looks like the questions have slowed. Do want to let you know that we're going to continue to keep you updated. As mentioned, 10 o'clock newscast, Atlanta News First on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW affiliate. We'll have the latest there. And then tonight for the late news on Atlanta News First, WANF at 11 p.m. And we'll help you walk through that forecast. If you're going to bed early and you check the app, but you want that additional update, the morning team starts at 4:30. Catch Atlanta News First again starting tomorrow morning at 4:30. Have yourself a wonderful evening. Hope it's a great one. Going to leave you with a gorgeous view, a dry view at this place, Lake Lanier up in Hall County. And right now, no issues. Have yourself a wonderful evening.